Hello everyone and welcome to what I hope is the first of quite a few weekly update videos. So I thought it would be nice to start a series where we give a weekly update on what's been going on in the community and discuss it a bit. So this will be a kind of mix of my fact and opinion. In terms of the BVI flight sim community, this channel has a pretty big following, and so people want, I hope, trust my opinion on certain things and want the facts as well. And, they're here for a reason, which is to get that and try and get it all in one place as well, which is why I'm doing this. Some of them may be as short as 5 minutes if nothing particular has happened. Some of them might be as long as 20-30 minutes. They're not really, intended to go on to a podcast length or something like this, or be an interview style. They're really just me telling you, this has happened, here's what I think about it. And you can take it or leave it. You can disagree, you can agree. You can discuss it with me in the comments if you like. But at the end of the day, this is what I think about whatever's gone on in the week. So the main topic of discussion for this week is FS 2020. Why? Because there was an announcement by one of the developers of TFM, Andy Borker, on a stream over the weekend that TFM is, and I quote, under active development for FS 2020. This is a stream that was on the BVI Pilot's YouTube channel, so you can go back and watch it. I know it was said a while back that the TFM website was going to be the main source for news. In my opinion, that would be nice if announcements were actually made on the website and not on some stream, because not everyone watches, every channel, and not everyone watches every stream. But as far as I can see, it hasn't been said on the website. Who knows? Maybe that will happen. In my personal opinion, again, I'm going to mix facts with opinions on this. So whether you like it or not, I don't particularly care. But in my opinion, some kind of development blog or, fortnightly, monthly, whatever you want, update on the site would go a long way to helping TFM in terms of, we get questions on this, we get questions on that, we're going to talk about it on this random stream, we're going to do that. Keep it all in one place, but there we go. So it was said on this stream that Andy Borker said on this stream that TFM is now under active development for 2020. By that, he said he thought it would take about a year to get anything major in place. The main items of priority being, I guess, the SDK, the autopilot, and things like that. And getting some of the things that aren't hooked up currently with FSUI PC7 hooked up with regard to the autopilot panels and all this stuff. Now, what he also said was that P3D development will be impacted. He said, and again I quote, that and you can go and watch this on the video if you want to watch it back, that P3D development, which is currently operating at a 5 out of 10, will be slowed to a 3 out of 10 as an estimate. That's what he said on the video, the TFM developer, or one of them. Now, so there are your facts. That's what's been said. I want to turn to my opinion on it. My opinion on it is I'm very unenthusiastic about it at the moment. Now, we've had this conversation a million billion times, and I'm getting quite bored of having it, but I'll go through it again. We all know 2020 has potential. I don't buy into the argument that the community has not done enough to warrant accessibility and that we need to do more. No, we've done a lot. Some people have recently got onto the scene with 2020, but I've been with it since the beginning. And what I said in the beginning was, I'll believe it when I see it. right? I tried it on the day it came out, no accessibility. Sim Update 5 came out, there was accessibility, very limited, very broken. Has anything changed? Not really. Have we sent emails? Yes, many emails. So Microsoft know what's wrong, they know how to fix it. And Asobo, right? Have we tweeted? I've tweeted many a time. Have we made videos? Yes, we made videos. Have we made a public talk about it? Yes, we have. We've made it very clear. It's even been said by the TFM devs themselves at expos and things, and public, or not expos, but public talks they've given about 2020's accessibility. It was said in the Flight Sim Expo presentation as well, that was given by another member of the community. At least it was said in there that it is not accessible. So it's been spoken about publicly, and we've combated any attempts by Microsoft and Asobo on social media to say that it's fully accessible. As far as I know, someone's generally replied and said, no, not the case. And as I say, we've emailed them. There was talk about a testing group back in about November or something, shortly after Sim Update 5. Never materialized. There was talk about a testing group. People were being told, okay, get ready, you've been chosen for this testing group. Never happened, right? So I don't buy into the idea that, the community hasn't done enough, Microsoft and Asobo, they're doing a pretty good job, yada, yada, yada. No. Microsoft and Asobo are letting us down. So the sim right now, as we all know, you can use AI to fly smaller aircraft. You can use it to fly larger aircraft, but it's not realistic. My personal opinion, I like to fly on VATSIM and I like to fly realistically. So 2020 with the airliners, not for me. How many flights have people completed on VATSIM with the airliners? None. In the BVI community, I'm afraid, none. Because it's not doable. All right? So, we know that. Secondly, the menus are broken. This is in Sim Update 8. The menus, to an extent, are broken. You can't choose a gate with the keyboard. You can't navigate to some of the settings with the keyboard. You can do some things enough to load up a plane and fly it with AI. Okay? Sim Update 9 is coming out shortly. That's a fact for you. It's coming out. And keyboard support is broken. Unfortunately, it's going to force people to update, so there's not much you can do. But keyboard support is broken. Sim Update 9 is coming out. That shows an absolute lack of testing from Microsoft and Asobo. Simple bug. They would have caught it. So I don't buy onto the idea that, they're doing their best. They're doing, they're coming. It's blah, blah, blah. Listen, no. They would have found that bug. It's so obvious. A 2-year-old could have found that. Hey, it's not speaking when we use the narration. Seriously? Come on. So, that's my opinion on that. Now, again, there's the line of argument, it's going to be fixed in Sim Update 10. Says who? Maybe, maybe not. If it is, then, that's nice, if it ends up getting fixed. But I'm not going to be jumping up and down at the fact they fixed something that never should have been broken in the first place. If it doesn't get fixed, it's an even bigger travesty. Whenever Sim Update 10 comes. But we just don't know. That's the whole point, right? We just don't know. In terms of what 2020 has to offer at the moment, the best plane is the fly-by-wire A320neo, which is a free aircraft. That thing has a basic FMC, and that's about as far as it goes. Not a bad aircraft, whatever. The PMDG is in beta. I've seen some people streaming it and will be coming out at some point, 737. And that will be, something different. Nevertheless, we need Asobo and Microsoft to step up and fix the menus. They have the feedback. They know what the issues are. They need to be the ones to fix it. It's not on us. Now, in terms of my opinion about, the TFM thing, as I said, not enthusiastic about it, I'm afraid. I make this channel to be honest with you guys and tell you my opinions and the truth. I'm not interested in, sucking up to any individual or developer or yada, yada, yada. I make it to give you my pure opinion. The fact that P3D will be taking a hit, in my opinion, is really unfortunate. Why? Well, if I had a dollar or a pound or whatever currency for every time someone in this community, and not just TFM, says, we're going to do this, we're going to make this program and it's going to do this, we're going to make this and it's going to do that, we're going to have this video series, it's going to do this, right? And then it doesn't happen, I would be rich. I would be so rich. It happens a lot. And a lot of the time it's just genuine, goodwill, and they say they're going to do something, it doesn't happen. And, I'm sure we're all guilty of it at times. But there's a lot of talk. It's very easy to talk and say, we've got this project, we've got that project, we're doing this, we're doing that, it's going to be great, it's going to do this. It's a lot less easy to actually produce. And I gauge my opinions, not on what someone says, but on what they do. Simple as that. People might not like that, because it's easier to talk, it's easier to reminisce and talk and say we're going to do this, and it's going to be great, and lot more difficult to make plans in the real world. Now, TFM is split between a lot of things. We've already been told that there was going to be freeware support in P3D. We've already been told a few weeks back on another BVI stream, again not announced on the website or anything, but on another BVI pilot stream, that essentially PMDG was being recoded in P3D to make it easier to add new features, which would take another year apparently. So again, totally fair enough. I'm not questioning that. That makes total sense, but that's another thing. So freeware, the PMDG, we've been told that Aerosoft would be coming at some point. There was talk of Quality Wings, Feel There, etc., other aircraft developers. There was talk of a taxi system. There was talk of A2A. The list goes on. And now, 2020. So you can see that there's a lot of things that, are all mingled in together. And it's a lot. It's a lot of promises, I'll say that. But as I say, I judge things based on what happens, at the end of the day, not at the beginning, of what people are saying. We're going to do this and we're going to do that. When 2020 has the PMDG, and if Microsoft and Asobo step up and fix some of the issues, I will be more interested. Until then, and again, I will quote this, because I think the developer said it on the Andy said it on the stream, that essentially this would be a long-term project, and I'm happy about that. I don't think there's anything wrong with investigating into what TFM could do with 2020, because there are advantages to 2020. The SDK has certain advantages, and what information it makes available has certain advantages. So long-term project, I can understand. But as I say, I'm not enthusiastic about it slowing down P3D development. In my opinion, P3D is still the primary sim. The difference for me right now is like driving a Ferrari in P3D to driving a car that's got flat tires and has been smashed up and is missing a front wing and yada 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 in 2020. Both of them might get you from A to B, but what's the nicer experience? Well, P3D by far. I mean, I have access here to the 737, 747 and 777. In my opinion, I know people who haven't even tried the 747 or the 777 properly. You're missing out, and instead you're flying shitty freeware planes in 2020. That's my personal opinion. There are people here who are really getting involved, flying things like Cross the Pond, all these VATSIM events, and people are just dicking about with freeware planes in 2020, trying to cobble together something that's going to work with a sim that doesn't even give you keyboard access, that, just all these problems that are basic things. I've said it before, I also don't buy the argument that, oh, well, we had to make some workarounds in P3D and 2020 is no different. No. 2020, you have to make many, many more workarounds, including buying a controller, even if you don't want one, because they can't be bothered to give keyboard access. And the fact that you're flying generally with AI means you are not really employing any skill in how to manage an aircraft, how to manage the autopilot, how to deal with, properly putting out flaps, gear, ATC instructions, like you might on VATSIM, dealing with the CDU. You're not dealing with any of that. You're just pressing a button, off you go. And I've said this all before. As I say, I feel like I've said this a million times. I get bored of seeing the same thing where it's, 2020 discussion, this, that, and the other. Yeah, we've said it a million times. At the end of the day, the ball is in Microsoft and Asobo's court. They're the ones who need to deliver. We know what the state of play with 2020 is. We know what it's good for. Generally small, prop aircraft. There's nothing wrong with flying that around. Other than that, I don't get any enjoyment out of it. And that's fine. Someone else might get enjoyment out of flying a jet in 2020. And that's, each to their own, as I say. But all of us have different standards and levels of realism that we want. And for me, 2020 does not meet that. Nowhere near. So to hear that, actual realistic projects in P3D are going to be sacrificed is a little bit of a concern. As I say, already apparently P3D was operating at a 5 out of 10. Now it's going down to a 3. Yeah. But again, my opinion. And people will judge products that come out for the community based on what they offer. And, whether that's what they want or it's not. And people have to remember that TFM is always open source, and anyone is able to build on TFM. I'll just leave it at that and add things to it, whether they're an official TFM developer or not. But yeah, that's what was said on that particular issue, and that's what was said by the TFM developer. And I'm making these videos in a spirit of respect, right? I'm not trying to say that anyone's opinion is wrong, and we all have massive respect for what TFM has been able to do for the community, and Andy and Jason's incredible work on this previously. My personal opinion, whether going into a sim that is not showing us any respect in terms of accessibility continuously over the past 2 years is a good idea at the expense of other things, I'm not too sure, especially when there's so many other things that have not been addressed or finished. Yeah, I'm not too sure, but as I say, people will differ. And in terms of P3D, well, it's kind of same old. I believe there was a new ERAC at the end of last week. That's always fun updating that. But really, things are as they were. We still have the full PMDG lineup. There is, I believe, again, this was said on a live stream, and again, my personal opinion, I really would encourage TFM to publish updates on the website, or have some method of informing people that's not just going on someone's live stream on a Team Talk server. I don't think that's the way to do it, to be honest. I mean, we do have the podcast, and we do podcasts when there's a big update, and if any big update gets released, we will do a podcast. Generally, if it's a smaller update or something, we don't, because it would end up being a 5-minute podcast. But so again, I mean, I'll put it on here because I was listening to that stream, but I know people won't have been, which is why I encourage the use of the website or something, just so that people can get these updates, if they don't watch so-and-so's live streams or whatever. But there is going to be an update that fixes most of the settings dialog. So there was talk that the settings dialog was going to have to be redone. But it seems that that's generally been fixed. So I think when this update comes, things like changing the CDU keyboard layout from the function keys to Alt and Control will work, and various other settings will become usable again in the settings dialog, which is a positive, because it means that, I guess, the reprogramming of the settings dialog to an INI file may not have to happen immediately anyway, because it's been fixed, and that's definitely something we've needed for that to be fixed, because I've had a lot of people, especially new pilots, who sort of say, well, this doesn't make any sense, how, why isn't it working? And the only thing we can say is, well, it's a bug. And I gotta say, if you are a new pilot, and I know there's been several coming into the community, even at BVI Virtual over the past couple of months, and I'm really glad that that's been happening, and we're getting people from all over the world, from different areas. You can go to bvipilots.net. There was something said on I won't name names, but there was something said on a live stream that apparently bvipilots.net doesn't have a video section that is comprehensive enough, and that we need a one-stop shop or something. Well, again, in my opinion, but no, that is untrue. bvipilots.net has a video section linked to various YouTube videos, because various people make YouTube videos, and because various people have a different approach to making videos. Someone might prefer one, someone might prefer another. So we have various videos. I have tutorials, there's links on there, there's links to other YouTube channels on there from the BVI community. That we're even starting a page for different languages. So we currently have Rodrigo's Portuguese videos up there. If anyone knows of any BVI videos that are other languages, again, drop it in the comments, reach out, let me know. Email me, blindflightsimmer44@gmail.com, and we'll put them up there. It's a diverse range of stuff on bvi.net for a reason. bvipilots.net, I should say for a reason, because there's a diverse range of needs and a diverse range of tutorials. I also don't really buy the argument that BVI pilots new pilots should need their hands holding, with a dedicated series on how to do absolutely everything. Especially if you're using PMDG, it comes with documentation. There's so many videos and guides out there. You've got to use your own initiative. If you want your hand held on everything, and you want to be told from point A to point Z, how to do this, you're probably not cut out for this, because you're going to have to use your own initiative at some point, and read through stuff, figure things out. Things are going to go wrong, and the people who are coming into BVI Virtual, for example, have done a really great job at that, and that's what new pilots have got to do. If you're expecting to come up on a Team Talk server, or watch, I don't know, a whole playlist of videos that walks you through how to do everything from point A, as I say, I could go on, but you get what I'm saying. That's not how it works. Of course, we have videos that walk people through things like PMDG from a BVI perspective, and there's a textual guide on that up on bvipilots.net as well. So but we don't do we can't give you every piece of information. So you can come and ask questions, of course, as long as they're specific. How do I go about fixing this problem? But if you just come and say, okay, I want to fly the PMDG, help me, that's not the easiest thing to do, because everyone has time limits, everyone has schedules, and some people can't sit around doing flight sim all day every day, or making videos about it or whatever. Some people have important stuff to do out in the real world, and so you have to use a bit of initiative. And then when you do come with a question, it'll be one that we can help you with, because you'll be saying, okay, I'm getting this message in the CDU, can anyone tell me what it means, or something like that, and we can say, yeah, we know what that means, tell you, that's it, you've got your answer. If you just say, I want to get into flight simming, it's like, yeah, that's a very open question. So yeah, that's pretty much from this week, the various things that have gone on. Like I say, and what I want these videos to be as well is I want them to be a way to hold people to account in a fashion, because there's a lot of things that get talked about that never actually come to fruition, as I said at the beginning. And there's even some private stuff that's been talked about that hasn't yet come to fruition, that I won't go into details on, but just things that have been said on in private, that are possible new ideas, new features or whatever, that just haven't happened yet. And so when things are made public, I want to have a one-stop shop here so that people can at least just get a brief roundup of what's been going on in the week. And I might miss things, so feel free to put things in the comments too. But also to look back, so we can look back on these videos in a few months and see what was said, and see if it's actually come to fruition. Because as I say, it's very easy to talk about ambitions. It's a lot less simple to put them into action. So, again, this will be useful to look back and say this was talked about, it didn't happen, or this is how it changed along the way. So that's pretty much it. As I say, this is all my opinion. It's not me saying that 2020 is bad. I know there's several people who use it, and I'm sure they're watching this booting their desks in frustration or something. But listen, as I say, I make this channel to be honest with people. I'm not interested in whether people like what I say or don't, in terms of if at the end of the day we all should be under one sort of banner and working towards the same goals. And as I've said many a time, I don't particularly care what sim anyone flies, to be honest. It doesn't affect me, and it's everyone has their reasons and a diverse range of needs. But in my personal user case, at the moment 2020 doesn't come near meeting it. It's Microsoft and Asobo who need to step up, not our community. Microsoft and Asobo know about the accessibility issues, and if they're not doing anything about it, it's because they're choosing not to. And it tells me when they're releasing updates that have no keyboard access that they barely even have a team, if at all, performing accessibility testing, which is really unfortunate. And so we should be very careful in setting a lot of stall by Microsoft 2020 at the moment and saying that it's this revolutionary sim. It has the potential to be, but at the moment it's not realizing that potential. And that's why I'll be sticking with P3D that you'll be seeing on streams and stuff. And that's why, in good faith, I can't recommend anyone to buy FS 2020, at least at the full price, maybe on Game Pass to mess around with. Other than that, that's going to be it. I hope you've enjoyed, and we will be back next week for another update to discuss what's been going on in the community and if there's any new news.